Bad songs, bad singers, bad videos with bad songs, bad videos with bad songs and singers? What are those songs that you actually hate to hear when they come up? Tell me about it right after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Video Call-In Show, that show that invites you to be a live video guest on this program. Talk about anything you want to talk about. Could be the topic of the day. It could be current events. It could be, I don't know, anything you want it to be. Personal promotion. You want to talk about your channel. You want to talk about your social media. You want to talk about your business. Come talk about it with Jim, and that would be me. I will be here for about the next hour. And it's my job to listen and learn to and about you. Having said that, joining is real easy. All you've got to do is put that link into your browser. That'll get you started downloading Zoom. It'll ask you for a meeting number. It's right there. There's another link just like it in the description box way down there. And if you don't want to download Zoom, all you've got to do is hit zoom.us. Click on join a meeting. It'll ask you for a meeting number, and by gingles, there it is once again. Now, if this sounds like something that you guys are interested in or you'd like to come on the show sometime, by all means, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and come on up and talk to your old buddy Jim. Now, having gotten that out of the way, I got some housekeeping to get out of the way. For those of you who don't know and are watching this completely unaware, Cab 7 is out of the hospital. He's back home. He had a live stream tonight. He's concerned, but he seems to be okay. They ran a lot of tests on him, kept him for observation, and that's good. So, best wishes to Cab, of course. We don't like to hear anyone under the weather or suddenly stricken or anything like that. So, Cab 7, wish you the best, man. Stay strong. I know you're trying to quit smoking. It actually works. If if I make any suggestion at all and you're watching this show, if it just becomes 2 or 3 almost 4-pack cigarettes a day is a tough habit to break. If it becomes such where you're craving nicotine, then don't be afraid to pick up a vape pen, find a flavor you like at say about a 12 to 24 nicotine, because nicotine does not cause COPD. And that'll help get through the tough spots, man. It really will. I only continue to vape because I really, really enjoy it. Okay. Got that out of the way. Now, somebody also in one of my other videos, and I've been promising this for a while, they wanted to see the camper, and the picture finally went through to Dropbox. Finally. I mean, it seemed like it took forever. I don't know why that is, but it did. And I'll get to the chat in just a minute. And I'm going to show it to you. This is the first picture I took after we got it home. It's still set up in the driveway. I know it's redneck as hell, but when you see this, it's a really nice camper. It's 24 foot. But I got to warn you. I must warn you, and this is not a shameless plug. It's red. It is red. Have I told you it's red? Okay, good. Without further ado, here she is in all her glory. Boom. Isn't that a beauty? Isn't that a beaut? 24 foot long, Winnebago, one slide out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And if you look really closely, there to the left, that's my lovely wife of 35 years at the end of this month. So, there you go. How was that? I do have some interior pictures, but I took them with this guy here, which is a Sony, what is it, AS some odd 100. And it's a fine action camera, but you see, it's the one thing the one advantage this has over most action cameras is that it has a nice fisheye lens on it. And yeah, sorry, Wisco, it didn't come in yet. Well, yeah, it did come in yellow, but I couldn't find a yellow. Oh man. So anyway, this has got a nice fisheye lens, so you get some wide angle stuff. But what happens is it also comes out awfully barreled with a whole lot of barrel distortion when you're trying to do tight shots. I'll give you a quick view of the interior. And well, I'll give you two views of the interior. Here's the first view. This is looking back toward the restroom, which is on the right. It is a bunkhouse. Those are bunks on the left. That is a U-shaped dinette, and that's the actual slide out right there. And then, of course, the kitchen comes out into a nice little L. The other view, oh, will be from the other side, and you'll notice something weird here, but that is looking directly back where I just took the picture, as you can tell. And I just got a new stereo, and I'm upgrading the stereo because the stereos in those things suck balls. This is a 3-zone stereo system, and only 2 were hooked up because there's only 2 zones. The interior speakers are in the ceiling, and then the 2 outside. Well, I wanted 2 in the bedroom, and if you look where the television at, that big rectangle right in the center, right on the other side of that is the bedroom, and that television swivels 180 degrees so that you can watch it laying down, which is awesome. So there you have it. There you have it. And I actually have planned, maybe with the fisheye guy, maybe just with my phone. I don't know. Oh, but I forgot to tell you, the real problem with this is not the fisheye lens, is that Sony comes out with these things, and then within like 6 months stops supporting them. So, you're left with this. The hardware stays the same. But hey, some of us own Apples. I don't. They do the same thing. So anyway, let's see. I thought I had some more housekeeping to do. I don't think I do. This is, oh, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I don't know how many of you have noticed, but I have changed my schedule a little bit. I'm still live Monday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But on Fridays, at least in the summertime, I'm going to a 10 a.m. show. So tomorrow morning, I'm literally going to do my first 10 a.m. show. And that is literally 2 things. 1, to test the waters. 2, to give our folks, on the other side of the pond a chance. And those of us who have mornings free across the country. It's not going to be a whole lot of us on the West Coast because that's going to be pretty damn early. But, it does happen. I'm just going to see what happens. And 3, Friday nights are, like I said in a couple of other videos, Friday nights are becoming valuable real estate. I just, too many things on my dance card. And if this weren't a hobby, if this were a job, I wouldn't have changed that at all. But, well, I mean, I would have added tomorrow morning or another morning, but I wouldn't have killed Friday nights. The only reason I can is because it is a hobby, and I still have to have a life. I have to make that gal happy, and that includes, sometimes freeing up my Friday nights, if you know what I mean. So let's take a look at the chat real fast. Drone Kings in Darwin says bad songs are just amplified by bad singers. That is true. That is true. But there are some stinkers by some really good artists. And this is of course subjective because it depends on your tastes. But that is absolutely the case. And if I decide to tell you mine, why then we'll know right away. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you guys if you can guess what probably is on the top of my list of bad songs. Songs that I just can't stand to hear when they come on the radio or in my playlist. The only reason they would come in my playlist is because obviously the rest of the band's music I really enjoy. So Bob Dip, how you doing? I hope I answered your question correctly there. Susan Hamilton, how are you this evening? That's going to be weird for me. I'm going to say this evening at 10 a.m. Trust me, it'll happen. Wisco Style is back. How you doing, Jared? Good to see you, man. Emmanuel Goffey, good to see you as well. Big Jim, hey, buddy. Bearded Tech Guy, welcome to the show, my friend. And we've got Above and Beyond Drones, who incidentally we'll be seeing here shortly. Heritage Farms, Texas, how you doing? Jealous. Yeah, I mean, it is really nice. I'm really proud of it. We got a hell of a deal on it. It's used. I don't buy new. I try not to, if I can help it, I try not to buy new. I would rather someone else take the depreciation for me. So my truck was used only by a year or 3. I can't remember on that one exactly. Now I do buy, when we go to buy a vehicle for the wife, I get her new. And the reason I do that is because, I'd rather her not be stranded on the side of the road than me. I can always take care of any mechanical thing that's going to happen, but I wouldn't ever expect her to. And that's partly because I haven't taught her everything that I know. Well, more importantly, she wasn't interested in everything I know. Who can empathize? Um, Arthur Moorhead, how you doing? Made it. I'm glad you made it, man. Ronnie G, positive vibes. Good vibes. Good to see you. Good to see you. Video call and show. Hello there, Jim. I'm talking to Gypsy Heart, Billy, and she sends her a hello and Gypsy hugs. Well, hugs back to Gypsy Heart. Billy, you be good and try to make it back on the show if you would. Crap, my dad makes me watch. Adam, how you doing? What do you mean by landslide? If you could expand on that, I would love it. So, all right. So, let's see. I am going to call up my first guest here in just a second. I'm not going to give away mine in particular. Now, remember, you guys don't have to talk about the topic of the day. You honestly don't. You can talk about anything you want to talk about. That is the beauty of this show, and I know I keep saying that, but but I'm probably going to ask you. You don't have to answer. You are under zero obligation to answer. Let me hide myself here. There we go. Awesome. All right, look for your microphone, Jim, there, and as soon as you find that and get that going, we will bring you up, my friend. So, has anyone guessed yet? Has anyone guessed what song just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up? Some people would say it was I don't know. Rebecca Black, Friday. What do you think? There you go. We'll just, all you got to do is a quick search on the worst song ever, and trust me, it doesn't come up. My song doesn't come up, but it could be that. Hell, it could be this guy. So onto my love rocket climb. Inside tank of fuel is not fuel, but love. Oh, that's a really bad one. That is a really, really bad song. Oh, who just jumped in? Wendell Live, how you doing, man? How are you? Did you find a mic? Good, Jim. Jim, did you find it? Can you hear me? I can't hear you, bud. Yeah, click it again and see if it's the right one chosen. I can see you okay, so you know. Yeah, but like I said, mine is a song from a very prominent artist. A very prominent artist. And I'll even give you some more hints. It's classic rock. Wendell, no, you are not on my bad song list. Oh, Tony's in here. How you doing, Tony? I don't see him anywhere. Patty Broussard, how you doing? Good to see you in here. Okay, Jim, I think I see the VU meter rolling, bud. Let me unmute you. How you doing, man?
Good. It's got a lot more options now.
Yeah. I don't know.
I had to sit there.
You mean choosing your mic or your speakers?
Yeah, it used to just do it automatic for me. Now I have to go and choose it.
Oh, have you added anything? Because a lot of times when you add devices, it will. Wow. Yeah, it'll actually pick up on them. So, well, cool. Actually, hey, what's that?
No, I was gonna say that picture looks bad from the Brio. Should look better.
Oh, I know.
I unchecked the hardware acceleration button, but it shows you how much CPU you're using and all that now. Crazy.
I know.
Did that before.
It's kind of cool. It gives you a good indication of the healthier machine and how healthy your stream is going to be for sure. So what's new and exciting, man?
I didn't get on the other night. I was online, but the internet was jumping on me, so I decided to just jump out.
I saw that. And I kind of figured that's what the problem was. That, or you thought maybe I was going to run out of time.
Go to those signs. You remember that Casey and the Sunshine Band?
Oh, yes.
I mean, I don't want to go back to the whole disco era with, oh my God, love to love you, baby, for 15 minutes, same words.
Oh, yes.
And then who didn't want to strangle Casey in the Sunshine Band? Shake, 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 shake your booty over and over again.
Oh, man, Jim, you don't know the half of it. I've actually had to play that in a couple bands.
Oh my God.
They chose it. The crowd loves it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just, grin and bear it.
What was that band that with the guy had the goofy top hat on?
The goofy
Oh,
top hat.
yeah, you remember that? It was striped.
Striped top hat.
Oh my
I
God, had
sure don't, dude.
big like orange and white. They had one hit wonder type of thing. They all were in the 70s. They were all one hit wonders.
Yeah, I thought it was worse in the 80s, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Most of the best classic rock I think came out of the 70s. Um,
Well, you
but
still had Zeppelin and original Jefferson Airplane and
sure.
oh my God, the bands back then.
I know. I know. I feel so bad for the kids today because they didn't get to experience them real time.
Yeah, I can't even, I try and play a little country music for my granddaughter. She's 10 or 11. But they say by the time you're 14, you've picked your musical style.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I looked that up.
Huh. Well,
But
that's interesting though. It really is.
we were lucky as hell, man, coming up with Zeppelin in '69 and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I was even luckier still. Those of us who had parents who could change with the times.
Yeah.
Because I can remember waking up early Saturday morning to like the Letterman and
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. Yeah, you remember that? Oh, you froze, Jim. But
I
it's a good pose, man.
It couldn't have been more different. You see what? Maybe I shouldn't have unchecked that hardware acceleration thing.
No, that was probably a bottleneck, an internet bottleneck.
Oh, it says my internet is unstable.
Yeah.
I don't.
Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll happen. That'll happen. I
I
always.
apologize.
Oh, don't worry about it, dude. Don't worry about it, dude. But what I was saying was, you do remember the Letterman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then he moved on to Chicago, and I'll never forget that it was several years after I moved out. I heard "Injustice for All" by Metallica.
Yeah.
Loved the album. Took it to him, and he went out and bought it that day.
One of their songs was actually from a movie called "My Name Is Joe." It was a war movie, but
Uh-huh.
the guy had come back from the war with no arms and no legs. If you know their early work, you know this song, and you probably like the song. But
I
that's from.
Yeah, I've probably heard it. I don't know that I would consider myself a big Metallica fan. I like a lot of their music, but it's not like I go out and search for every one of their albums and buy them, like I have on some other bands. So I bet I've heard it.
I went through the range. I'm a Nickelback and a Van Halen fan and all of that. Even at this age,
What about
I'd rather
Van?
hear.
What about Van Hagar?
No, I can't stand Eddie. I mean, Sammy.
Sammy? You didn't even like Sammy as a solo act?
Leave his ass in Cabo San Lucas.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Yeah, I'll take Eddie as much. I mean, David Lee as much as he was a jerk or whatever to the rest of the members in the band.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was flashy and the guy could sing. I even liked his first album.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Wish
I
They
did too.
All Were California Girls. Remember that?
Oh man, Eat 'Em and Smile was the name of the album,
Yes,
and
yes.
I loved that album, especially the videos that fell out of that thing. They were hilarious. With
It
the
was great too. I think he had Joe Satriani on the guitar. He smoked.
Yeah, yeah, and Stephen Vai. Mm-hmm.
Stevie Vai, that's who
Stevie
it was.
Vai. Yeah, I didn't know if the other guy had subbed in for a few songs, but I just
No, it
remember
was
that
Stevie.
from the videos, and of course that dude is unbelievably
Oh my
talented.
God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, Wisco says he absolutely loves Metallica. That's awesome. Grumpy Vlogger, how you doing, Lloyd? Outdoorsy Gal that always trips me up. How you doing, hon? This is right down your alley.
Is Patty on? I
Patty
don't have the
Broussard?
chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Patty's in there.
I wonder if she because she plays that. I wonder if her musical tastes even go anywhere near something like Van Halen or Zeppelin.
I bet it does. I bet
Yeah,
it does.
yeah.
You know,
I was
she's, I'm guessing that she's younger than we are, but still, musicians, they tend to like a wider variety of music than, the casual listener.
yeah, they've heard it all.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. I've used myself as an example several times. Sometimes on a long trip, I love to listen to classical music, which you wouldn't even think was in character since I play nothing but hard rock songs.
My father, believe it or not, he was a Mario Lanza kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah, he loved all the old. Well, that was the old stuff to me,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know. But yeah, he would play that. Oh man. And I'd be sitting over in the corner with my headphones on and a cassette tape, pissed off because it got jammed up, and I'm using a pencil to rewind it. You remember those days?
Oh, I so do, man. Or
And
worse, an A track where you're not gonna get it back in there.
the damn 8 track would split the song in half and go to the next track. You're in the middle of jam of a solo, John Bonham, 30 minutes, and it splits and goes into the next track. Oh my God.
Oh, just annoying as hell. But I tell you what, they were the greatest thing in the world to fall asleep to if you wanted to listen to music while you're falling asleep because you didn't have to do anything.
That's Dark Side of the Moon, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember one of my favorites
Oh,
to
yeah.
fall asleep to was Toys in the Attic.
Really?
Oh yeah, love that album when it came out.
Yeah. Dream On came out in 1976, and you still hear that today. And then Run DMC did a little Aerosmith in there.
Yeah, remix.
Yeah, my
Yep.
God. They made it, huh?
Oh, I know, man. I know they came back from the dead too. Yeah. Do you remember my worst concert ever show?
I don't
You don't.
remember yesterday, man.
I hear you. Well, you don't have to. I mean, it's in the it's buried in the catalog. I only say that because they were actually the worst concert I'd ever been to, and I mentioned it on that show. And that's when they were in their drug heyday. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, they were horrible to go see live back then. And then when they cleaned themselves up, man, they were one band that came back from the dead. The all the members lived through it. It was shocking, actually.
What's funny to hear is when you hear these guys talk, like you remember Boston, they got their sound from a broken amp.
Yep.
That's how that riff came out.
Yep.
And Eddie Van Halen, he got his from putting a third pickup on his guitar because he thought it was broken because he didn't know the amp was a 240 amp and he had plugged it into a 110. He actually did a TED talk. Now I was like, oh my God, man,
Oh,
I'm
is
glad
that where
that
you learned it?
yeah.
Oh wow, because you know where I heard that was he was actually talking to a guy who made an exact replica of that original red, black, and white guitar,
Yeah,
and has done a lot of work for Eddie since. But they went through that whole story. It's so cool.
it is. Isn't it interesting?
Yeah, yeah. If you guys ever get a chance to look at that video that I'm talking about, um, the guy did it all from videos and photographs. He never came even close to the actual guitar, which Eddie still has. And he literally got it down to the rub marks, the nicks, the chipped paint. It's just remarkable.
But you know what? You know what they were taught on? Classical music. Their father taught them to do piano and drums. And Eddie, the only reason he got on the guitar was because his brother wanted the drums.
Yeah, yeah, because he started on drums.
Yeah, he started on drums. They played people's backyard parties and stuff. Oh,
Isn't that strange?
yeah, it's great, man. It's great to hear that stuff.
Oh, it is. I love those backstories. Oh, and I've also mentioned Rick Beato. If you guys want to go check out Rick Beato, and that's like Beato, Beato. Yeah. He's got a lot of that behind the scenes stuff, and he picks songs apart, like what makes songs great. If you're into music at all, it's one of the best things ever.
For
I,
me, it's the beat and a good riff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's got to have a hook too. Um, because that hook is what you don't even think is there, but it
Yeah.
keep it's the one that keeps replaying in your head. Oh, we had some new folks walk in. Sparks TV, how you doing, buddy? I know. Oh, I already said Heritage Farms, Texas. Sweet, sweet.
Two things, Jim.
Sure.
Number one, 185 pounds, you're getting into wimp territory. You got to stop now.
I know, right? I really want to be 180. And I've been on a plateau for probably the last week and a half, and it's just pissing me off. But
I think your body to muscle mass, your BMI, body mass index,
yeah,
I think you're probably at where you should be. I don't think you should get much
you're probably,
skinny.
yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. But I want some wiggle room, so when I go on vacation, I can, mow down on pizza.
Uh,
Have
and
some.
the other one, what was the song you hate most?
Oh, well, no one is even guessing, so I'm going to tell you. It goes something like this. I hate that song. I love the band. I love most of their stuff. I hate the Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
You couldn't hear it?
No.
Oh, wow. Could you guys in the chat hear that song when I played it? Thank you, Chrissy. I appreciate that. It says I look great. I don't get that a lot.
I could do without ever hearing Stairway to Heaven again.
Oh.
I've heard it since 1978. It was their prom song. And I'm like, oh my God, please, never again.
Well, you're getting old, Jim, when some of the classics, and that's one of them, are played in just about every elevator you jump into.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is that all about?
You got guys waiting? I don't want to take up your time
now. No, you're it right now.
All right, cool.
Folks,
I don't know what I did to screw up this video.
What video?
The video looks terrible on my end.
Oh, no, it looks pretty good over here.
We're all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're looking at the 2 screen, right? The one that I'm sending you?
Yeah.
It's going through a lot of filters, but from here, no, yours looking okay. I'm not seeing it look bad at all. Oh, you did hear it. Okay, so Lloyd says he heard it. I wonder why you couldn't hear it, Jim.
I know the song, but I couldn't hear it.
I bet. Yeah, I wondered why you had that look on your face. I bet I don't have it sent to bus 3. I don't. Here,
the one like I can see through the sand and snow.
let me try it now. I'll play that little piece again. See if you hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I said. Yeah.
yeah, you nailed it. But I couldn't figure out why you couldn't hear it, and that's because I didn't have that particular mixer slider.
You gotta love Cashmere and Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused. I could hear that. I could listen to that back to back.
Dude, I love so much of their stuff. I mean, so much of their stuff that most people don't listen to, and I couldn't throw the titles out. Well, everybody knows When the Levee Breaks. That's one of my favorite because I'm a drummer.
What was the last one? Zolfo or something? Where it was critically killed?
Oh, you mean the last album?
Yeah.
Was that before or after In Through the Outdoor?
I don't think it was loved. And I don't think I liked it either. I can't remember what was on it.
Oh, okay. I think In Through the Outdoor was their last studio album, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I am not.
When there's bands that you hear a 5-second riff and you can pick the band out. I remember when Van Halen came out with OU812. Heard the first 5 seconds on the radio, you knew who it was right away.
Yep. And that was, of course, Eddie, because Sammy didn't start singing right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to disagree with you, man. I like Van Hagar as much as Van Halen. Maybe not quite to the degree I liked Van Halen, but I still like Van Hagar.
I thought he was too powerful over the music. They didn't do as much riff work and that kind of, in my eyes.
Yeah, you're probably right, but you also have to remember that's one thing that pissed. Wait a minute, Eddie started getting more into keyboards because that was a sign of the times.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things that pissed David Lee Roth off. Remember, so you're a guitar player, you're not a keyboard player, and so I think it wasn't just Sammy that made some of those heavy riffs and solos go away. I think it was Eddie wanted to experiment with other types of music at that time. It's just a guess.
Sounds reasonable. I mean, you know what? Before I forget, let's jump into when was the first time you realized that you were too old to go to the concert?
Which concert? 'Cause
In 1987, I think it was, I jumped into, by that time, I had friends in the New York City Police Department, stuff like that, and they got me into Bon Jovi at the Garden, the Madison Square Garden. And every person there, I don't, how old was I in 87? I don't even remember. Maybe 28?
28 and 87.
Yeah. 77 was
Yeah.
high school, was
Yeah.
17, 28?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I are about the same age, right? I'm 55.
Well,
I'll
I
be
got a couple
56.
of years on you. I'm 59.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll be
But
56 here in a month.
the kids all looked 10, 12. I don't know how dad let them out of the house. They're wearing mini skirts and like they're going to go home with Bon Jovi or whatever, or Satriani. I mean, come on.
Oh, well, it's funny too because Bon Jovi should have attracted women our age in miniskirts because that's where their heyday was.
Yeah.
But
The best concert I've ever been to?
tell me.
The Who's 25th anniversary in Tampa, Florida. Oh my God. They played outdoors. Jim, it was louder than any concert I've ever heard in the world. And I've been to who did Godzilla?
Blue Oyster Cult, was it?
Blue Oyster Cult in a small Long Island arena. It was called the Long Island Arena.
Ah.
And, back then playing it loud was the key to, music.
Sure.
And they actually had one guy pushing the arm of Godzilla. It was so funny. And they were warming up for Ozzy when Ozzy's guitarist was down here in Florida and he crashed and killed himself buzzing the bus in the airplane.
Randy Rhoads.
Randy Rhoads, thank you.
Sure.
See, the brain goes.
The
songs are still there, but the
hey man, as long as the light's still on, the pilot's still lit.
Right?
It may not be putting out the same heat, but it's still working.
Oh God.
And
but the Who, oh my God, they were so loud, and they were perfect.
Really?
Like you were talking about the Aerosmith concert. You see, usually when you see a band live, they're nowhere near what they sound like on the produced album.
Right. And you're talking about 3 original members, right? Keith was already well
Yes.
gone. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet. I've never been able to see the Who.
I saw Molly Hatchet in a bar.
Really?
Yeah, and oh man, it was a bar in Tampa. I was over here visiting my brother on the east coast of Florida because I was still living in New York at the time. And we heard Molly Hatchet. So screw it, it's only a 3-hour drive. We drove over, and they were right there to running with what was their big one?
Anyway. Train, was it?
Molly Hatchet.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I actually saw Molly Hatchet in the Indiana State Fairgrounds years ago. And I hear you can actually watch them in a bar nowadays. I think the only close to original member is maybe a cousin of the bass player's technician. That's just what I hear.
Oh my God. You remember Donnie Iris?
Yeah.
He did that song Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
I caught him and Coco in a bar. Sometimes these guys just like to tune up in a bar. You know what I mean?
Sure. Oh yeah. You get the shake the green off. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're going to come out with try out new songs and all that, they'll go to the bars.
Oh yeah, for sure. And incognito too. It's like they don't want to advertise it, or they'll have if they're a big band, they'll have a rush on them. But some people get real lucky.
Blue Oyster Cult used to change. Well, when I grew up on Long Island, you had all those bands there. Blue Oyster Cult was a Long Island band, and then that We Don't Want to Take It. Who was that idiot?
Twisted Sister, Dee Snider.
Yeah. Dee Snider.
I know far too much about this.
Yeah. We had this supermarket that closed down, so they made it a bar, and there were actually 4 bands, one on each side of the building. That people were lined up outside, man. You'd get thousands of people.
Wow, that's cool.
Those were the cool days when you didn't get hit for drunk driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you were just what amount? I don't know. 6, 7 years younger than the members of Kiss, weren't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they were playing out around when you were running the streets.
But you were a fag if you liked Kiss. I don't know if I'm putting down faggots or Kiss. I don't know.
Well, it's one of those things, right? I mean, that's what was said back then. And listen to Bill Burr sometime. He's he's like, yeah, we'd rib one another, and of course, people take it way too personally now. But I didn't know that on Long Island that's how you were looked at if you enjoyed Kiss.
Yeah.
Because we were digging them here in the Midwest. I remember being introduced to Kiss with their "Hotter Than Hell" album, which I think was their third, maybe their second. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And then Alive came out. Forget about it. It's like everybody wanted to go see him. Everybody in Halloween was painting their face like him. It was a phenomenon.
We had the two camps. You either were a Zeppelin fan or you were into that pop nonsense.
Yeah,
All the songs we're talking about that came out. They just came out one after another in the 70s,
yeah,
late 70s.
yes. Well, let's see. Yeah, the Frankenstein. Wendell Live says Eddie created a guitar called the Frankenstein. That's the one we were talking about.
Yep.
Remarkable guitar, really. He said he just was going to try it to, well, like you said, fix it.
He was
And
playing with the electron, the bars.
yeah, yeah.
What do you
And
call them, Jim? You're a guitar man.
you talking about the pickups?
Pickups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also the bridge as well. He modified the bridge as well.
Yep.
And he thought, I'll just do this, see what happens, and maybe if that doesn't work, I'll get another guitar. 'Cause he had his eye on the other one. Then he just found out he loved it. And Outdoorsy Gal says other songs that suck to her. Sean Cassidy, Do Run Run. Oh, that was horrible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was horrible.
Partridge Family. I think I love you.
Yeah, that was his brother, and for some weird reason, he had a short run of one hit wonder. It was just that one hit wonder. I don't know if he had another one.
No, I don't think he did.
No. And then she also says Black Betty. We all remember that song.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't get away from that.
I remember, Chrissy, that I actually went to a show. Well, my friends did because somebody wanted to hear Black Betty to see Ram Jam back in the day, and that's the concert we all fell asleep after
Oh
they
my
played
God.
after they played back Black Betty. I mean, the rest of it was just horrible. And in the summertime, interesting,
Oh,
interesting.
you know what? I've got my 10-year-old granddaughter. She can pick out Mongo Jerry.
Yeah,
In the summertime when the weather is fine. Yep. I got her into a little Mongo Jerry and a little Frank Zappa. You got
oh,
to teach them, man. You got to teach them how it was.
you've got to, That's why my boy loves classic rock, loves classic rock.
As well, he should. I mean, that's the roots. After Elvis Presley, you and the Beatles was that the soft 3 minute. That the Beatles were the kings of a 2 minute song.
Yeah, yeah.
I Want to Hold Your Hand is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
But that was marketing genius.
Was it not?
Because they started out just a cover band, and
Yeah.
and I understand that Ringo is not the best drummer of the Beatles.
Who was the first guy?
Pete Best.
Pete Best. Yeah. I don't know. I've never heard his work, but
I haven't either. I haven't either. In fact, they picked up Ringo when they were still doing covers and working on some originals, and that's the earliest video that I've seen is
it
with.
started with John and Paul, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
In London. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they came up out of the slums, I believe.
Oh yeah, it was blue collar town. Liverpool was maybe still is. I don't know. I'm not from there. Maybe I'll ask some people tomorrow if I get some UK folks on. That'd be fun.
I remember I used to have reel to reel because it was the best fidelity at the time.
Right.
And I remember when when John was shot, they did so many retrospectives that I just put it on a 90-minute reel to reel.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That or
dude. I know it's not your channel, but that is
yeah.
such a video idea with stills with public domain stills of the Beatles and John.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Dude, that is gold. People love that. And maybe you just make it a special Above and Beyond Drones premiere as like thank you or something. You don't have to credit. You don't have to credit me. But that's a killer. That's a killer
Hey,
thing.
you know what? If if nothing else, you've got loyal followers. I mean, you look at Brad, and we're always plugging you, man. You know that. If you see us on another channel, you know right away we're plugging you.
I love that from you guys too.
Yeah.
That is so great. Speaking of which, I better say hello to some more folks. Andrew Frying Pan, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you back. Outdoorsy Gal says another song she can't stand is Paul McCartney's "Wonderful Christmas Time." I agree with you wholeheartedly. Crap, my dad makes me watch. Adam says D. Snyder has one of the best stands against Congress of all times. You're right. You know what that did though? He said that ruined his that ruined Twisted Sister and his career for many years because he was no longer the bad boy. He was a smart rocker, and people didn't want that. Mike Van Doozy, welcome to the show, my friend. Corruptions Are Network, good to see you. Germany Travel Personal Guide, how you doing, Darian?
That's like trying to take Ted Nugent's gun away.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know Ted Nugent, you're not taking his gun rights.
Nope, not at all. And I got to give that guy credit too. He, staying away from drugs during that whole time when, they were probably shoving it in his face.
I mean, he went deaf, but he didn't do drugs.
Yeah, well, job hazard, I guess.
Yeah. Now you ought to see him with earplugs in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was dedicated, that's for sure.
Oh, man. And he's dedicated to his causes now, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. You know who is silent but behind the scenes? And this guy, I heard it was a 17-minute song, and I said, I have got to find out who the hell this is. It was Todd Rundgren.
Really?
Who later came out with, I had heard it must have been early work, because he later came out with "Hello, It's Me." I haven't heard you in a long, long time.
Sure.
I don't know what the hell the song is.
I think it's "Hello, It's Me." I think that's actually the title.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a shocker. I got it right. But yeah, he had it was a 17-minute jam, and oh man, does it go through the it's just like a plethora of songs into one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he lives out in Hawaii now. I saw some kind of special. You remember the days that they used to put on those rock specials at night?
Like the midnight special, or?
Yeah. Well, there was the midnight special, and then this one guy, I can't remember his name, but
Don Kirshner?
Don Kirshner.
I am pulling these right out of my ass. Trust me.
You're killing me.
Oh, hello, it's me. Yeah, cool.
Is it really the name?
That's what Wendell Live says. I'm going to go with that, man.
All right, I'll take it. That was a nice, peaceful jam. I mean,
it was a nice, peaceful jam. I wasn't a huge fan. I did like what I liked about Todd Rundgren was that he became a pretty good producer, as I understand it.
Yeah.
But you were saying,
well, that's what he sits and does. Well, I don't know if he's still doing it, but he has just an outdoor place in Hawaii, and he sits there and plays the music and all. I think it was Hall & Oates. Give me not John Oates. It was
Daryl Hall.
Daryl Hall had a half-hour show on TV, or an hour show on TV, where he would go and visit the different rock stars.
Oh, that's a different show than I was thinking. He had that. I think it's still going on online, but it used to be on television, called I think Daryl's Place, where he would invite musicians to his house and they would jam.
I remember that too.
Yeah. But that one sounds as interesting, the one you're talking about.
He went out to Todd Rundgren's pad, and they just talk like you and I are now. And that's the great part about it. You get to hear where they came from and what they're into and all that. It's real interesting to hear, and it's not far from anybody else starting out.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear Van Halen, they were playing people's backyard birthday parties, running around with flyers,
Oh yeah. Well, they all had to start there somewhere, unless they were manufactured, like those boy bands or the Monkees. Yeah. Well, even the Beatles were playing high schools. Yeah. They just got picked up and then packaged.
You remember when they flew into Shea Stadium? Oh my!
Well, no, because when was that? 63?
63.
Yeah,
I mean, I was only a youngster, but when
I,
you've seen it later.
yeah, I was just Oh, I remember seeing the video. I was just being popped out though. So that
It's like, how could there be that much actual excitement over a band?
oh, I know, I know. Like I said, it was marketing genius, absolute marketing genius, and they knew it too. They got big over there. Nothing had come out for a while. Everybody's looking for some new music. Hey, you know what? Let's hype this up over in the States where the real money's at, and keep them hanging. Release a little bit of their songs,
Hmm.
and then we'll bring them over for a big giant concert. It worked like a charm, like a charm.
And they never got too far off base with Yellow Submarine and Revolution, Instant Karma. They were all, you know, still popish, but they tried to push it more towards what was coming. You know, Zeppelin was coming out on their doors, and
Yeah, almost everything about the Beatles is recognizable from where I sit. You know, every time
right,
and it may be because of familiarity, but it's like I don't know. The voices obviously are a big part of it, but just the music itself. I can't think of any song that is so far off the Beatles' path that it's almost unrecognizable to somebody who knows a little bit about the Beatles. Can you?
unless you're talking about Paul McCartney when he went off with his own band.
Yeah, never a
No,
fan.
no,
Yeah.
I couldn't take it.
No, no, Band on the Run. That's another
Yeah,
song that is really close to the Immigrant Song. Yeah, I just don't like that one either.
overplayed, and there was no reason for it. I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah. Sergeant
Well,
Pepper's changed everything. You're right about that one, to live.
yeah.
That'd actually be a good idea for a show. Songs or albums that changed everything.
Well, it's like watching the Beatles try and break out of that "Help" and "I Want to Hold Your Hand" and all those quick 2-minute
Yeah,
songs.
the bubblegum mode.
Right, right. They were trying to grow up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
don't think the producers wanted them to, or the marketers wanted them to.
They never do. If you ever watch any of the behind the musics, and I'm talking mostly to the audience, I'm sure you have. Uh, that's usually the second thing out of their mouth is one, I signed a bad contract, but the second one is usually, we went in to do our next album, and the record company didn't want us to change the formula.
Oh yeah, you never hear that.
Every artist has probably had to go through that. It's like, no, that was it. We need to do that again.
It's all been changed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes for the better, sometimes not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for
Those were the days when you used to have the B-side.
yes.
And you would catch a few that weren't as produced. Do you remember that?
Oh, I sure do.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Uh, I think when I was just getting into music, of course, we were still all vinyl, and then 8 tracks came about, and most 8 track players were going to be like under the dash or a very special sort of console unit.
I seriously remember 33s where you had to take that little plastic thing and put it in the middle of the 45 in order to play it.
Yes, yes,
33 revolutions per minute, RPM.
yeah, yeah. That was the long play, and then you had the 45, which is 45
Yeah.
revolutions, but then you also had 78, which was a speedy little bastard. And
Yeah,
thick records, but that was before my time.
I was going to say, what, I don't remember anything on 78.
No, no, not that I would listen to, but
Although Paul, you remember if you play the record backwards, Paul is dead. Dead if you play it backwards. What is he if you put it on 78?
oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Alive and well,
Yeah,
living in California, you know.
just kidding. That would be cool if they could engineer that. That would be awesome.
I
It,
heard Fleetwood Mac, they did an album called This Is the Rock.
hmm
If you listen to that before they
Yep.
became, you remember Bishop, right? Who I'm talking about?
You said if you listen to that and then you cut out.
Um, oh yeah, I just saw it on the screen. Sorry.
That's okay.
Uh, This Is the Rock was like rockabilly before they got into whatever they want to call their music now for Fleetwood Mac.
So was this before Stevie and Lindsay?
Oh no, before Lindsay, but Stevie was there. It was just it was seriously rockabilly.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I don't even know if you can find it now.
Huh. Oh, well, I bet you
My
probably can, man, with the interwebs.
my sister worked at a company in Hauppauge, Long Island that pressed the vinyl. So I would get, I don't care if you like the album or not. I got the Osmonds, I got everything. Every album that they pressed, I got a copy of.
Really?
Yeah, I was a lucky kid.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
oh,
cool.
yeah.
Ed, how you doing, man?
The
flashing
Flash
your
Years Band?
flashing your pans in the house. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Oh, Bing Crosby. Grumpy Vlogger says Bing Crosby on 78s. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
a
was
lot.
he?
Yeah, a lot of the old crooners, a lot of the blues, wonderful blues. But by the time I'd gotten to that point, I was listening to him like on cassette or 8-track. Just never had the vinyl for it.
It was frustrating at Christmas time because I wanted to get my granddaughter to know the White Christmas with Bing Crosby
Hmm.
and all that. It was hard to find, but I did find it. But it was
Well,
hard to find to play for
they're
her.
they're scrubbing it, man.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh, because people are idiots.
You can't get rid of Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant, Bing Crosby, that whole genre of actors who were real actors.
Well, it's the same thing, man. Book burning never works,
Yep.
right? Prohibition never works. And I know we're getting off on a different subject here, but anytime you try to take away history, then not only are you doomed to repeat it, but but you take away the ability to learn and grow. Seriously.
You've got to know your roots.
Yeah, exactly. No matter how horrible, you just got to know that it happened. You can't scrub it from everyone's memory, and you can't just keep it away from everyone. It's it's there so that we learn lessons from it. And I just can't understand why people are trying to scrub it in that fashion. It just blows me away. Just blows me away.
You had the Ted Turner boom where he colorized all of those old movies, and then now you're trying to hide them.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Bob Dip. I'm glad you're back. I hope I answered your question there at the top of the show, bud. Bob says his video card died and he was afraid he lost his video. He's trying to download his own video. I think, but yeah, and you don't have to worry about that. If you guys download your videos from YouTube, they do not go away from YouTube. So don't worry about that. So where were we, Joe? Sorry.
I've not tried that. I've not tried downloading a video from YouTube.
I do it every time because I don't record them locally. So what I do is how I get the guest cuts is I'll just download the entire show and I'll bring it into my editor and then I'll cut it up and save those off as or render them off as individual videos, with my head and my tail on them.
Yeah, yeah.
And that way it just saves a whole lot of hard drive space because if I did it and not only that bandwidth because right now if I was recording, it would just be more more things from my PC to do and I got enough happening right here as it is.
Sure.
For those of you who haven't seen it in a while, I was just showing somebody this the other day, but yeah, you see, there's plenty going on in this world. Don't need to muddy up that works at all.
I had a guy, Rodney Bell, show me how to what he was using. So now I'll put the iPad Mini on a tripod on a frame, X frame, and put it behind here so I can see the chat when a hangout is going on or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And I actually, I think I've talked about this before. I've got a little 7-inch monitor right in front of me on the teleprompter, so I'm actually looking at you and I talking, so that it doesn't look like I'm staring, trying to look at you this way. Because
oh my God, I have a friend who helped me out with OBS, and he's even got the frame set up where your eyes have to be,
Oh yeah.
And he crucifies you if he catches you doing a live and you're not looking at the camera. You have to talk to your audience or look at your audience or you're disconnected, he says.
Yes. Yeah, and that's a really good point, Jim, because I've said this before, and I think it's worth mentioning again. Those of you who are using your phone, and you're looking right here where you are, that's not where the camera's at. And we all know, we can all tell because you're looking off to the side ever so slightly. It's almost like you're looking over the shoulder of your audience, and you've got to learn to look at where your earpiece is. If you're gonna watch yourself do a video, look up here where the earpiece is. That's where most cameras are on that flip side. We all know where they're at back here. But yeah, that's really really a common thing. But and I get why people do it because they don't think of it that way. But it makes so much more sense to be able to look at your audience, and they get so much more from it. So just a little tip from me to you, audience.
No, and
Not
you're
not you,
right,
Jim.
but I didn't have I don't know why I just didn't think of how to put up the second because I'm here. I didn't have a way to put up the iPad Mini on the frame. I didn't think of it. I just didn't hit. I got so many of these stupid little tablets laying around that are useless. They turn out, you buy them and then you find out, wait a minute, it's only got 2 gigs of RAM or something like that, and you can't put these apps on them.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like useless.
yeah. And that happens even if they do have enough RAM at first. Because here I'm sitting with, and I'll go back to the image. This guy right here is a Surface One. Let me point to it again, right
Right.
there. That's a Surface One. It's almost good for nothing. So what I've got it doing is it's working my mixer, which is digital mixer sitting right behind it, and I've got all my sliders right there on it. In fact, I should probably just tilt it that way and see if you can see it better. Yeah, it's this guy right down here. See it? That's my
Yes.
mixer interface, and my mixer is right back here. And that's how I do it. I do it all with a mini mouse. And but at the same token, I've got a Gen 1 Apple iPad, right?
Yeah.
You can't upgrade the OS on it anymore.
No.
Most apps won't work on it. So I've got it sitting upstairs as a friggin' $500 clock. It's just
He calls the one he has a $40,000 paperweight because he can't use half the editing programs he wants to use.
yeah. Yeah.
Apple won't. So he got me into this little keyboard. This is the Elgato Stream Deck.
Oh, let me go full screen with that.
Can we see it good?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I've seen
should-
those.
I don't want to turn on OBS because it might hurt.
It might hurt
It might hurt something. But anyway, these keys all light up with the program. Like go to your 2-shot, go to your studio.
Yeah.
All that.
And you can set the colors and of course set which buttons you want to do what, right?
Well, yeah, you can turn them into, if you turn the pictures into little 72 by 72 pictures, you actually load the picture onto each key.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
That's
it's
even,
cool.
that is awesome.
It's not lit up right now, and I don't know why, so I'm not going to play with it.
You can play with it here in a few. We're already at 11 o'clock, and you and I've been talking for better than 45 minutes, dude.
I'm sorry, man, but when you
No.
talk me, I can talk forever.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy you. I'm happy you came on. I told you that we had to continue a conversation. I didn't care which one it was.
Well, I tell you what, when I went back and watched the Vox Apocalypse one you were doing. Jesus Christ, you could get me going forever with that politically correct crap.
I know.
I'm so sick and tired of it. People have probably heard me say it a million times, but there's 327.5 million Americans. 4% of the humans in the North America say they're gay or something like that. And yet these bastards are going to control my life. No.
Yeah. Those are the politically correct times we live in, Jim.
When is White Irishman month? I don't get a month.
Nope.
Pull up Irish History Month, man. We went through some crap in the day, but hear us bitching.
You guys came over as slaves.
That's right.
Yeah. My family were the only reason that my ancestor came over was that he saved up enough to release himself from indentured servitude.
People today, do they even teach indentured servitude?
That's the problem. They're not teaching the kids what they need to teach them, man.
Kids were up in the attic. Men were in one barracks. Women were in the other barracks.
Yep.
And you were friggin' workers.
I know.
You were
I mean,
slaves.
slaves. You couldn't go anywhere. Yeah. Hey, Flash in Your Pan wants to know about the Stream Deck. He's been thinking of getting one. He said, how do you like it?
Oh, Ed, it's so easy, man. It just makes life easy, brother. It it's too easy to program. That's the beauty of it. It pops up. Just make whatever you're going to do, like this screenshot right here. You could just screenshot this on a PC. It's down at the bottom, clip and snip or whatever the hell they call it.
Cut and
Snip.
paste?
It's a snip. It calls it snip.
Mm.
Save the picture, resize it down to 72 by 72, and Stream Deck just says, okay, put a picture in here. And I do. It's an icon.
I'm going to write that down because not that I need one. I use my keyboard as my my Stream Deck.
Mine lit up.
Is it just USB?
I got everything on a powered USB strip.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's actually how I have most of my monitors.
Yeah, here we go, Jimbo. Can I show this again?
Yeah, I'll go full screen with it. Oh, that's beautiful, dude. That is beautiful. I love that.
And what this is just a picture resized down to 72 by 72
pixels. Mm-hmm.
Pixels, and then you get to put each one into each numbered key in their software, in the OBS software.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I bet it would be helpful for other production switchers as well.
Now, this is just the Stream Deck. There's a Stream Deck Mini. But this one has 15 keys, which I think, Ed, you'll like better. More choices is always better. The Mini, I think, only has 6 or 8 keys.
Yeah. Well, I know I use at least that many hotkeys on my keyboard to make shit happen over here. So
right. So Jim, this I think it was 120.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Not for the big one.
You find them on sale all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But, you could use it yourself. It just changes your shots.
Yeah. Well, it'll make it a lot easier for me because I got to remember what letter goes to what.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And now you have a little picture of it, and it's surprisingly crispy clear.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably hard to tell over the air, but I bet it is crystal clear. I'm going to look into it, man. I really am.
Jesus, it really is. I have no complaints with the stupid thing.
That was funny. I have no complaints with this stupid thing.
Especially when it's technology that you don't know. I mean, I don't know. This Nay from Interactive DNA helped me set everything up. Lloyd and the Grumpy Vlogger, he's been a great help to us.
Lloyd's a great guy, man.
I got that, and I got the Yeti mic.
Oh yeah, good. Have you tried? Well, yeah, you just had your live stream with it, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got the Yeti mic on now.
Yeah,
the thing is,
sounds good.
I just like to buy crap that's going to last me a little while.
Yes.
That's why I got the Brio. I don't need to stream in 4K, but I know it'll be ready for the next technology.
Yeah. Yep. Smart, man. That is very smart. Viewed this as Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Tiny Tim.
How did we forget that one?
Oh my God.
He's one of very few performers who have literally died on stage. Little trivia note for you there.
I did not. When he married Miss Anne, remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he married someone named Miss Anne.
Huh.
Anyway, I didn't know he died on stage.
Yeah, died on stage.
Was he on a show?
Yeah. I don't know if he was on a television show, but he certainly collapsed on stage, and that was it for Tiny Tim. And I think it was because he had not just because of his weight, but he had a weak heart, and it just gave out on him. Just gave out on him.
One of the few that made it to TV with a ukulele.
Yeah. One hit wonder, ukulele.
Yeah.
And he was a hit.
And his looks. His looks made him.
Yeah. And he was a household name, right? With that one song.
Jesus. Well, those were the days of laughing. You could be a star easy back in those days.
Yeah, no doubt.
Goldie Hawn, I mean, she didn't do anything to become a star, but be a good-looking.
Yeah, just dance in her bikini.
Gaffy, yeah. Effie or whatever it was, whatever the term was. Joanne Worley. I don't even know what Joanne Worley ever did besides laughing.
Oh, I don't either. I don't either. She had that laugh going for her.
Yeah.
And yeah, uh, I don't either. I'm sitting here trying to think, was she a comedian?
Shock it to you. The Fickled Finger of Fate. That was a good one to get over on the censors, right?
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
in those days, everything was censored.
Oh, they were good days though, man.
They were fun.
We actually learned stuff in school, which was nice.
Yeah, we stood up and pledged allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I know.
How goofy is that?
Apparently not goofy enough.
Boy, that's aggravating. Don't you see? You're getting me started. Don't get an old man started.
We're going to stop right there, Jim. It's after 11.
I didn't even look at that time.
I know it flies, dude.
Show, man.
No one else came on, and that's fine. That, you know what that means, Jim? They were enjoying our conversation as much as we were. I love that.
Good.
That's
Little
exactly.
music history does everybody good.
Yes. I know. Chrissy was hearing it. She says, "Let's hear about the songs that you can't stand." Oh, she must come in late too. Well, mine was the Immigrant Song, Chrissy, and you probably remember that because I think I mentioned it when you were on the show. All right, Jim. Well, let's wrap this up. You want to?
You got it, buddy.
Thanks, dude, for coming on. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Sorry, I mean that.
All right, I'm gonna find my out button and do it.
All right, have a good weekend, bud.
Thanks. You too.
All right, see ya. Yeah, that's Jim's a great guy. I like I said, he and I could talk for hours about this, literally hours about all sorts of subjects. Bob Dip, I don't know, man. Well, he said Jim says he's 59, and I don't know how old you are, Bob. I don't remember if you ever said so. So, yeah, but compared to most, we're still old. So listen, guys, like I said, I'm changing the schedule, and I think you all know that I go on vacation next Friday, not tomorrow, but a week from Friday. I go on vacation for a week, and I'll have notes of that on my channel. But tomorrow, I've got something planned for Friday night, so I can't go live. So what I'm going to do, I just decided this since Fridays are the last 2 Fridays I've had to miss. I thought I'm going to go in the AM. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., I'm going live. And I've already got a subject picked out. It's your favorite historical character, and we'll talk about that. And that's exactly what I'm going to do from at least in the summertime. And when it becomes winter again, I may pop Fridays back up. But then again, if this band thing works out, the one we're trying to put together, some Friday nights I'm going to be out playing. So we'll just have to play that by ear. Thanks, Jim, for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Always a great guest. And as always, thanks for you guys for throwing those questions out there and telling us about the songs that you can't stand. I really had a good time tonight, and I hope you did too. For you folks who are watching this after this has been processed and you dig it or you want to be on the show, make sure you hit that subscribe button as always and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. I'll leave you with this. Make sure you treat others the way you want to be treated. And if everyone did that, this world would be a wonderful place. Don't forget, 10 a.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you, folks. Take care.